Hey guys, we're almost done. So, good afternoon this time. I'm just about to assemble the last layout for the Hello Pumpkin Deluxe Workshop. I've been working my way through them. And the first one, so this layout is actually 2 single pages. So you could do them separately, or you could, I changed it so that they went together just because it happened to suit the photographs that I picked out for the workshop. So I want to be able to tie one page into the other. So I assembled earlier. I'm just going to share this over in my classroom. So here we go. And I'll just quickly show you how the first page turned out. So with each layout, I kind of tried to do something just slightly different than them, because obviously you can look at the workshop and you can do it exactly the way they did it. So what I decided to do is I switched up everything. So all the videos are here on my business page, or I've also posted them over is the last layout. And like I said, it's designed as 2 single page spreads, but I wanted to create a double page spread out of them. So the way I switched it up is I've added flip-flaps and then journaling spots. Because it's my daughter's trip, I'm going to let her journal it herself. And so just a sec, I seem to be frozen, so I'm going to just see if it catches up or if I need to go back off. Again, so funny because earlier today I had no problems. Switched up the title and I added a shaker element, and we had flip-flaps on here. We did the folding over that they do in the workshop, and we added sequins on here. We just switched a few things up. So now I want to make the coordinating page. So a few things. Like I said, the way it was designed, they had it set up as 2 single page spreads. So this one that said, and it has this, the title Sweet, and I used that on a different page. There we go. We seem to be connected again. Okay, I think I've bounced up. So I'm going to keep on going. So this time I'm going to assemble this page, and we're going to assemble it just slightly different for a few reasons. But like I said, I wanted to match this page. So some of the elements from this page I'm going to carry over onto the second page. So here's what I have down here for this page. So the interesting thing about this, so like I said earlier, they kind of try and teach you, they want you to learn circles from the pages, from the actual piece. So I'm just actually going to quickly adhere the photos to the mats before I lose them. So I, again, didn't have the same size photos as they were calling for. So I changed up the size of the photos. So this is just a 4x4. So instead, I think it was supposed to be like a 4x6 portrait here with a long journaling spot over here. But because I put the shaker element on the other side of the page, I wanted to add a shaker element on this page too. And because I had this 4x4 photo, that works out perfectly. So, and then I have these three. These are little 2x2 photos. I think I'm out of tape runner. I should always know that that's going to happen as soon as lose them. I'm just going to set them aside here. Okay, so now, so I just wanted to show you here on this, the black and white striped piece. So it has you cut out the 3 dies right out of your piece of paper, and then your background color comes up from underneath. And then some of them we're going to embellish with a slightly smaller stitch circle. So it has you use the stitch circles to cut out the piece of paper, and so that's how you end up with your holes there. So I'm just going to I kind of cut out and lay down the quarter inches from the edge. So I'm just going to move it over here on my mat. And it's super easy to line everything up. So I'm just going to add the adhesive to the back of this piece of paper. So here you can see where the 3 holes are already pre-cut, and some of them we're going to fill in and some of them we're not. So it's 1 1/4 inches from the edge. Just like it's totally strange. So my internet is going in and out apparently, but it will record it all. So I know it just makes it weird because then when it's happening, nobody will actually jump on live. But if you guys have any questions when you're watching the replay, feel free to ask. So now I'm just going to build So this is where I want the shaker piece, about here, I think. And you do have some time. I could have left it like that and just worked with it like that, but I just kind of wanted it to be as close in lots of elements, and then just the ways that I adapted it. So I'm just going to line this up. So always remember, you do have a little bit of play unless your adhesive is super crazy strong. So I'm going to add this one over here, and this is the shaker. I'm going to add it here. Sorry, I'm just looking over here kind of at the diagram. This is here. This is a half a piece, I think, but I have extra pieces, so I'm going to so here I have my photo, and instead of this super long journaling spot, I'm actually going to stamp it after, but this is the line. This is the little stamp set for the lines, so I just kind of want to gauge where I want to put it. And like I said, I changed the title on this one, and so because I used the other part on a different layout. So I'm just going to do this and this. So like I said, I've cut out all the pieces pretty much exactly how on my shopping website. You can download the instructions, and don't forget that, like, so once you add it to your cart, it'll prompt you to download the directions. I do believe the little thing, the text for the download, I think it's green if I'm not mistaken. So typically when I cut out a workshop, I lay all my pages out in a row, and then I add all the pieces on top of the page, just so that I'm sure I'm gonna like them. So in this case, I knew there's this little tiny dot here on top of the beautiful, and I knew I didn't want to lose it. So I just cut off this piece and actually laid the whole thing down with the workshop so that I would not lose it in the middle. Because these pages have been moved around my studio several times this week, waiting to do this video. So this kind of goes here. I just need another. So I really actually quite like the combination of the ballerina and the peach together. So the background is ballerina. It's one of the new pinks that we got with the new idea book in the fall. And we got 10 new colors, and they kind of changed it from the way they've always done it, and they have added in, instead of they've taken the colors out of the families, and they're more based on like a color wheel, which makes it a lot easier to work with. Okay, so now that I have everything kind of where I want it, I'm going to start gluing things down. And we got a new pattern book, but it's a little bit different. It's all about color theory and gives you great ideas on color combinations, and there are examples for all of them. It's a super awesome addition to our how-to series. The other how-to books are still there, most of them, the littler books, and but so this was something really different, and it makes you look at things quite differently. So now that the colors aren't in families anymore, it kind of lets you mix and match and play with color theory a little bit more. Okay, so like I said, because I put the shaker element on the other side, I wanted to put one on this side. So we're going to put it right here. Maybe up just a little bit. Kind of, I just want it kind of at their eye level. So again, I've just used our thin cuts. And so we had one of the new thin cuts that we got was the shaker thin cut, and so you can cut all the parts. So it cuts the background for your shaker, that's this white piece. You can cut the ring to hide your foam adhesive that we're going to put down here in a second. And you can create your own confetti. So there's little hearts and little stars. So you can coordinate your confetti to match anything. For this one, I'm going to use the silver loose confetti to match the other side. Okay, I'm just going to attach this one up here. I think I'm going to pop this one up. So this is the leftover foam from the shaker window that I put on the other page. So you don't always need to have the tape or the dots. You can use the insides of these. They're super easy to cut too, just with your scissors. Okay. And I'm not sure if you can see, but there's little lines and dots on the back of this orange piece of paper, and I just don't want it to line up perfectly with the stripes going across. So it's just kind of off center. Not perfectly straight. Okay, so I'm just going to add this white piece. So sorry I decided to do this in two parts, but the first part was just getting to be too long, and because it was kind of a busy morning, I decided instead of not being able to concentrate, I would just go have some lunch and then come back and do the second part. So this piece, you can cut it if you want to save it for another part, or you can just tuck the whole thing underneath. So I'm just going to cut it off, and I'll save that part and you can use it somewhere else. First, I think, so they have dovetailed these pieces. I like them just cut on just the diagonal instead of the little tiny dovetail. I find it easier just sometimes to just cut it in straight across in the diagonal. So I just have there's no ink on my stamp. I'll stamp it after I have everything down, but I just kind of want to know where it's gonna go. I hope I'm not putting my head in the camera again. It's hard sometimes to line everything up without actually being over top of your layout. So I noticed in the last one, I probably put my head in the camera 3 times. So, okay. And I think I'll pop this one up too with a little piece of foam tape. So I've had lots of fun playing with this workshop, and you guys don't actually get to see me put photos on layouts very often, because my workshops, I don't put photos on them for quite some time till after all my customers are finished with them. So this is like a special treat for you. And these pictures are not even that old. They're just from this summer. So this piece just kind of sandwiches in here. So I'd love to see if you guys did any of the layouts from this workshop. You guys could post them in the comments below. That would be awesome. I'm trying to just show you that just because it's the way they set it up or they've printed it, it doesn't necessarily have to be what you do with it. And it's the same thing with all of my workshops. Just because I have a photo in a certain spot doesn't mean that's where you need to put it. Or if some of them are nice and simple pages, and if you're more decorative, then just add layers on top of them. It's all about just getting your photos in your scrapbooks and enjoying it. So like when I'm creating a workshop, I try and make sure you have nothing left at the end as far as paper goes, so that you're not putting stuff away in your stash and then you feel like you need to, like you have too much paper or too many embellishments or stickers or whatever. I try and do it so that you have nothing at the end. Okay, so I'm going to adhere this title down with glue dots. These are the smallest ones, so you're going to see I'm probably going to put more down than last time because I had bigger dots last time. So I just take the title to the glue dots, and I find this works super well. Glue dots, for some reason, stick like crazy. So one second. I think my husband locked the dog in the laundry room. Nope. I thought I heard somebody crying behind me. He just went out, but before he went out, he was in dropping off a basket of laundry into the laundry room, and I thought for sure I heard the dog crying behind me. But he must have been crying upstairs. Okay, there we go. It's so funny too. I'm not really sure if it's best to scrapbook right away or best to scrapbook later, because I find later I'm far more selective of the photos that I'm scrapbooking versus if I scrapbook them right away. If I scrapbook them right away, they probably are all going in. For example, when I first started scrapbooking was probably right about when my son was born, and so his baby book is huge, and so every single photo was in there. Sorry, I just dropped my dot. I knew I was going to do that. Oh, I see, I saved it. Okay, it'll come back. But his scrapbook is huge because I documented everything. And then it's funny because I went back and did my daughter later, and I was far more selective about the photos that I put into it. There are still tons of photos in it and all those special moments, but I think I was more selective. Okay, well, it will pop back up and it'll be after I'm on camera, off camera. So I'll add it in there after, because I think I've just got stuck on something. Okay, I'm just gonna add these photos on, and then I'm gonna add the shaker element. And I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm not stamping those lines for journaling on here on camera. I'm gonna do it after, because there is no way that I can't do it from right above. So I can post a picture with the lines, but I am not going to do that on camera. So, not even that I'm worried that I'll get them not stamped well. But also, if you don't want to stamp too, you could do the same thing that I did in the last video, where I just drew the lines on with the journaling pen. That totally works too, if you're worried about not getting them lined up. And if I can't actually find my dot, which I know it's just probably stuck to me now, it went flying when I tried to take it off with the piercing tool, I'll just cut a little dot out of what I have left there. Okay, almost finished. So I just have to add the shaker element on there. Hey, Jan. So now, and then I think I should add ribbon on somewhere too, because I put ribbon on the other side of the page. And I'm going to add one little black heart on cardstock somewhere too, because I did that on the other side. So just sometimes that when I put an element on one page, if I want it to kind of mirror on the other side, I'll try and take a few of the elements from the one page and put it on the other side. So I'm just going to add the shaker element over here. So I've grabbed one of the foam and acetate. So I'm just breaking up the connections off the edge with my piercing tool, and I gently pull it off the backing, just so I don't warp it. And I'm just gonna, I put my finger down onto the edge of the circle where I want it, especially because I'm not standing up right now, and I don't want to stick my head in the camera yet again. So I just have the anti-static pouch here. I'm just going to rub that on the inside. And I have like my little acetate sheet. And oh yes, because I said last time I don't typically have a hard time finding the edge. This time it decided to be difficult. Oh, I can see this part is. This side's already rolled. There we go. Oh, but I should fill it first. Okay, so on the other side, I used the silver and white loose sequin, so that's what I'm gonna plop in here too. I just thought it would make a nice combination on this page. So there we go. I'm just taking the wax paper background off, and now I'm going to just lay it down on here. I'm going to add a little bit of liquid glue. I still have a couple of circles up here that I haven't adhered yet. We're just going to do that while the circle dries. So you don't need a super ton of the liquid glue because it's going to stick like crazy once you lay it down. So like I said in the last one, I think I've decided what I'm going to do for product of the week, but honestly, if you guys have any suggestions of things you would like to see, you can send me, you can write them in the comments, or you can send me a message or an email. Okay, so then up here, I'm just going to run it off the page. So I'm just going to add some adhesive. And once this is dry, I'm going to cut it off from the back side. I'm going to add another piece of foam under here. So you can see on this one, I've cut this one all up with my scissors. Because I know lots of times I might not need a full square, so I've just sliced into it with my non-stick scissors. And I'm going to add some of the loose sequins too, because I did that on the other page. So at this point, I'm going to stamp this in black, because I did that on the other side. So I'm just going to grab my little Fiskars mat. And you can see when I cut the workshop out too, I cut out extra stitch circles because I knew that I would be playing around with the layouts when I was doing them. So I just have extra stuff lying around on my desk so I can grab it if I need. I'm just going to stamp a few. I'm only going to use one, I think, though. But and then, so this is where I will add the journaling lines after. So I'll just quickly fussy cut it out, and I always leave just a little bit of an edge. It's just a little more forgiving. Okay, and I think I'm going to put it up here. Okay, I'm just going to take this off now. That should be stuck. Move this out of my way. So if I have something that goes off the edge, I always trim it from the back side. I think it's just a little bit easier. Okay, so now so I've added this element onto the other side so it matches. Now, and I have this heart I'm going to add on. So now I need to add some of the sequins on, and I need to add some white ribbons somewhere. So I think I might I don't think I'm going to do a full length of ribbon. I think I'm just going to do like a loose knot like this. I should kind of try and make them even though. So I think. Okay, so I'm just going to add the ribbon down with glue dots. And this I'm going to put up on foam. And then I just need to add my sequins on. So the good part about the non-stick scissors is you can actually cut the foam tape and it will not stick to your scissors, which is lovely. So then I still might add a few complements onto here. Okay, in the home stretch. So here are some of the leftover complements, and so let's see here. Maybe trying to decide if maybe I will add this in here. No, I don't think so. And I don't think I'm going to add this one in either. I think I'm just going to add the sequins on. I might come back in and add, once I put the journaling lines on, I might come back and add some more. So I am just going to add the sequins so it matches the other side and then be done. So this has been a fun series of for product of the week. I thought that I think I'd like to not make them all the same, like not make them all a tulle, or even though I thoroughly enjoyed doing the thin cut favor box last week. It was fun to do something different, and like I said earlier, you guys don't get to actually see me scrapbook very often, so I thought this might be fun for you. Well, I don't know about fun, but it was productive all at the same time. I got some scrapbooking done, some pictures on paper, and you guys got to see how to switch things up. I know once I add my lines in here, I'm going to probably add some sequins over there too. So I'm not going to add a ton just yet. I'm going to wait and I'll stamp those lines and then add a grouping probably in the bottom. So I might just add this last one, and then that will be all. So there we go. So like I said, I'm going to add the journal lines here, and then I'll add the sequins in and it'll be all done. So here's how it looks in the end. And we added the shaker element, we added some stuff up here, the ribbon, we switched out the photo sizes and the orientation of the photos so that it matched the other side. And here's the first side. So now they'll go together and they will be cohesive together. So I hope you guys enjoyed that, and we'll talk to you later. Thanks. Bye-bye.